What's up, Spender here. Just want to share a quick guide on how to conquer Total War Saga,
Never
Troy.
bested in battle.
Just like playing chess, or a military tacticians. There are things you need to know. Let's begin.
Oh, swift-footed Achilles, there is only one response to Queen Helen's abduction, and that is war.
Brother, your foolish passion has doomed us.
King Agamemnon of high-walled Mycenae must avenge this insult to his brother. You are the ultimate warrior, king of Thea, and commander of the Myrmidons.
Glory in battle is my God-given fate.
Your ally, King Lycomedes, rules the Isle of Skyros. As a boy, you were sheltered in Lycomedes' court on your father's command. Now you must protect the old king in turn. Heed both threats from enemies like the Elopians and opportunities that come your way through friends such as prosperous King Oeleus and his son Ajax the Lesser. The independent Thessalians could be a bulwark for your western flank. Keep your courage, lion-hearted Achilles, for you know well that fortune favors the bold.
I want to make this short. I know it's kind of scratchy when you see the entire map. But first, let us focus on the objectives. Objective: defeat an army belonging to the following faction in battle. Enemy faction, Elopians. As you can see, the Elopians faction at your screen. The region city, Histeia. That's your first objective. Right? Just disregard every faction for now. Before we go on first objective, we must first activate the royal decree. This is similar to research and development for your empire. It's up to your tactics on how you will proceed to your R&D. But for me, I will first research the treasure haul. It will give my empire 20 gold per turn after 8 turns. Moving on, so let's try to conquer our first objective.
Achilles the champion.
At this point, there are 3 options on this battle. First, fight the battle. Second, resolve the battle. Third, you can break the attack and replan your next move. Up to you which you will choose. But I preferred auto-resolve. I do not fight the battle if the battle meter is below 50%. Just make sure you don't want to lose your elite soldiers.
Don't hold back.
At this point, there are 3 options on this victorious. First, spill the blood. This will rank up your soldiers and hero to gain more experience. Second, lives as barter. You can make some plunder over your captives. Third, replenish your troops. Up to you which you will choose. Moving
My might
on.
only grows. Son of a goddess and a king.
There's another objective appeared. Maintain 12 units in total. Train more troops to gain this objective. Now let's move along.
Our rightful reward, their just deserts. beyond compare.
Now this is what you need to know. In order to conquer the entire world of Troy Saga, you must know which faction you are dealing with, and what arrangement you will need to do. Just like playing chess. Like in the military tactics board map. Number 1. Achaeans, this is your faction. This is your known race, as much as possible, trade, deal with this factions.
As it should be.
Approved everyone with, non-aggression pact. Defensive alliance. Military access. Do check this factions, occasionally. Like humans and orcs. Elves and dwarves. Achaeans are the factions of Achilles. As much as possible, be most friendly on this factions. Second, we have the Aeolians. This faction is like the suburban of the regions, they also have an empire. But most likely, like a mercenaries. One thing you need to do, is, to deal a non-aggression pact, on all Aeolians factions. And, only make defensive alliance, on the nearby provinces. Plus, only pact with military access on their regions, you want to enter freely. Strongly, do not invade, or set a foot on their regions, or, just passing through. Without military access. Because, this will have a negative impact, on your reliability as a non-aggressor empire, and this factions will be your barrier against your enemies.
Heed both threats from enemies like the Elopians, and opportunities that come your way through friends such as prosperous King Oeleus and his son Ajax the Lesser. The independent Thessalians could be a bulwark for your western flank. Keep your courage, lion-hearted Achilles, for you know well that fortune favors the bold.
Third, we have the Ionians. Ionians are like nuisance, or annoying factions. On this case, your objective is to eliminate the faction of Elopians. Elopians are part of Ionians' race, like farmers and savages, they also need to be respected. So you can also form a non-aggression pact on these factions, and deal with them later. Fourth, the Pelasgians. Pelasgians is the well-known race, as the Kingdom of Troy. This factions is the nemesis, of the Achaeans, your sworn enemies. There are things you need to know about dealing with these factions. Number 1. Do not form a non-aggression pact on any of these factions. Because, in time they will break it accordingly, because they are your sworn enemies. This will impact the negative reliability on your factions. Second you need to know is that if they are trying to barter with you, do not decline. Instead, make a counter offer, all the time. Make the 0.1 rule on trading. I'll show you later, but first, let's move on to the other factions.
Oh, swift-footed Achilles, there is only one response to Queen Helen's abduction, and that is war.
Brother, your foolish passion has doomed us.
King Agamemnon of high-walled Mycenae must avenge this insult to his brother. You are the ultimate warrior, king of Thea, and commander of the Myrmidons.
Glory in battle is my God-given fate.
Your ally, King Lycomedes, rules the Isle of Skyros. As a boy, you were sheltered in Lycomedes' court on your father's command. Now you must protect the old king in turn.
Fifth, Thracians. And other factions alike, the Amazonians. There are also factions hidden on the world map. How to deal with it? Of course, like the Ionians. Some of them are tradable. As long as it was not the Pelasgians. You can trade with them, and form a non-aggression pact all the time. How you can do this? First, you must have strong reliability rating. How to earn reliability? Of course, do not take actions to war, such as acts of treachery, attacking your allies if you have a non-aggression pact with them. Make sure that you do not have any treaties to the other factions to declare a war. For example, trading and agreement. To your Achaeans family, Agamemnon is strongly positive on your friendship. This was your chance to gain more allies. This is very important to your steadfast, or to your reliability. If this green becomes red, meaning that you're not reliable or trustworthy. So most of the other factions will try to attack you, and you have lesser chance to gain non-aggression pact to all other factions. Plus, lesser trading arrangements will be your liability. For example, 0.0 in trading arrangements will now be -1.5, or -50.0 to all factions, friendly and non-friendly empire. So, this will hurt you a lot, like for example, trading 1,000 woods for 10 stones. So make sure to declare act of war accordingly, with no treaty liabilities. And also, as I said, do not invade other regions, or set foot on their property, without military access pact. Unless you are at war with that particular factions.
Talking now,
as you can see here, Menelaus of Sparta is friendly towards Achilles. You can see how green the non-aggression pact can be like. As it has positive 0.3, it is good for your own terms. But I will not allow it yet. I want my reliability to gain more positive before I do the agreement.
Commander of Myrmidons.
To increase your diplomatic agreement, try to hecatome and pray for Zeus.
Bring more bows.
Moving on. Let's continue on our first objective.
My reputation endures. Show no mercy. Kill them all! Take it over. I am a legend. All right. All right then. Ultimate warrior. Turn the ground red. Bring their deaths. Occupy this place!
I just hope Achilles can keep his temper in check.
This was an example. If you have reliability positive or steadfast green, see that you have the upper hand on this terms. As I was saying about the 0.1 rule, if you are going to accept the agreement, make sure you make it positive 0.1 on the agreement. You can do this on all other factions. Except your allies, you can increase the positive reliability to make your Achaean race happy. Also know that the 0.1 rule is very effective to all of the factions and races. This faction Abantes is Ionian's race. This is a good example of the 0.1 rule I was talking about.
Go on, try and convince me.
So I have the upper hand. You can now choose what economic resources you demand on the single barter agreement. Make sure to take what you mostly need. Plus, do the 0.1 rule.
I suppose I'll have to.
Legendary prowess.
Does Achilles really want to talk?
So now, you can set up a barrier all over your region and make non-aggression pact to the factions around your empire. And just make sure your reliability is on green zone. On this manner, you can now choose which faction you would like to attack, or declare a war. Make sure that there are no active treaties on both parties, so your reliability won't go down. This is an example of my endeavor. Mostly, I got all the faction around me on the positive and diplomatic arrangement I've achieved so far.
I'm sure we can reach an agreement. Talking now avoids suffering later.
Achilles will be hard-pressed to convince me.
It will make a change to hear Achilles negotiate.
Achilles is free to speak.
I'm expecting some spirited bargaining.
Achilles is free to speak.
As I have said earlier, Aeolians' race are like a mercenaries. And Menés is part of the Aeolians. So I have a non-aggressions pact and a military access pact with them. So I can order them to attack my foe, grab some popcorn and watch. Sounds good, right?
Well worth our time. We should all profit from. Achilles and I have much to discuss. May I not regret listening to Achilles.
On just 71 turns, I got the influence like, maybe 7% of the entire map. So, I hope you have learned a lot on this video.